sa last part itong ating set 1 ng Into Parasitology. Okay, so Plasmodium na tayo. So the Plasmodium species, so this is a causative agent. These are the causative agent of malaria. So malaria is actually Italian for bad air. Ayan, so medyo change tayo ng setup. Yes, may pa-golden hour effect. Pero yun, going back. So, di ba, malaria, bad air. Nung sa unang panahon kasi, like, parang, bigla na lang, parang kasi himatlan sila masamang hangin, bigla na silang nilalagnat. Okay, so important talaga actually yung characteristic na cardinal signs ng ating malaria. So, the patient will have chills, fever, and sweating. Okay? So, this is a vector-borne parasite, very different from what we had discussed kanina. Kasi, di ba, fecal-oral yung transmission, foodborne sila, o kaya sexually transmitted. Pero this is vector-borne, okay? So, nakukuha sa kagat ng ating mosquito. So, in the mosquito, it harbors the parasite. So, this is the leading parasitic disease that causes mortality worldwide. So, maraming affected nito worldwide, especially in developing countries, especially in Africa. Here in the Philippines, there's a lot of cases as well. There's a lot of cases in Palawan, Mindoro. Mas ma-discuss natin mamaya. And it is a component of the Millennium Development Goal 6. So, yun yung sa mga public health na diseases. So, tinatry ng ating WHO na mapababa ang prevalence ng cases ng malaria worldwide. Okay, so some introduction sa kanila. So these are a group of parasite that causes malaria. So it is from the subphylum. It is from the phylum Apicomplexa. So phylum Apicomplexa, the mode of transmission is via vector-borne sa kagat ng ating female Anopheles mosquito. So okay, so 'di ba yung mosquito kasi would take a blood meal dun sa patient, like here in the picture. Ayan. And pag kuha niya ng dugo, meron din siyang ilalabas na salivary secretions na nandun yung ating parasite, yung infective stage ng ating parasite. Okay, so di ba may dalawang host tayo? So di ba si humans and si mosquito. So alamin natin sa kanila kung sino yung intermediate host and final host. Pero before that, review. Okay, so intermediate host, so ito yung mag-harbor ng asexual stages, while the final host would carry the sexual stages of maturation ng parasite. Okay, so ang ating intermediate host, hulaan natin, ito po ba yung humans or mosquitoes? Ding ding. So, di ba, ang tamang sagot dito would be ang ating humans. So, the humans are the intermediate host and the final host would be our mosquito. So, mas malalaman natin about this in the life cycle. Okay, so yun. So, some information about our mosquito, no? So, ang peak transmission begins at the end of the rainy season. So, saan natin sila makikita, yung ating mosquitong ito? So, this feeds in slow-flowing, partly shaded streams in the foothills, and it is a night biter. Sa gabi madalas kumakagat. Okay, then, so, meron tayong 4 na medically important species. So, we have Plasmodium falciparum, Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium ovale, and Plasmodium malariae. Also have yung Plasmodium knowlesi. So, this is normally a parasite of long-tailed macaques, but human cases were also noted. So, this figure, mas makikita natin mas magandang version niya in the next slide. Yan. So, this is the life cycle. Okay, so we can divide the life cycle in 3 parts. So itong exoerythrocytic cycle or the human liver cycle, and itong erythrocytic sa human blood stages. Tapos dito naman sa left side, itong sporogonic cycle in the mosquito. Okay, so take note natin yung 2 terms na madalas nating mapapakinggan ngayon, sporogony and schizogony. Sporogony. So, sporogony, this is the sexual development which happens in the mosquito. So, this is the sexual development that happens in the mosquito. Next, we have schizogony naman. Schizogony, this is the asexual development that happens in humans. Schizogony, asexual development that happens in the humans. Okay, so start muna tayo dito sa ating pinakauna, number 1. So, si mosquito takes a blood meal dun sa human and it injects the sporozoites. Take note, highlight natin or if meron kayong highlight natin to charot. Ito talaga, write down natin guys, important to take note, the sporozoite is the infective stage. Okay, so ang ating mosquito would take a bite on the human and it would inject the infective sporozoite. Okay, so yan, si sporozoite travels sa bloodstream and would go into the liver. It would infect the liver cell, it would mature into a schizon and the schizon would rupture. Okay, so stop muna tayo doon. So that is our human liver stages. So first, the mosquito takes a blood meal, then it would infect the liver, it would mature into a schizon, and it would rupture. Okay, so take note natin, the schizon harbors the merozoites. Itong mga maliliit na bilog-bilog, ito yung merozoites natin. And take note. Okay, so bago tayo mag-proceed dun sa other parts, ang atin pong Plasmodium ovale and Plasmodium vivax, possible na mag-harbor sila ng tinatawag natin na hypnozoites. Hypnozoites. Ano yung hypnozoites po? So, nangyari doon, ito yung mga schizons na remain dormant dun sa liver ng patient. So, maybe after 1 to 2 years or few months, doon lang sila puputok, magra-rupture. Okay, so and this may cause relapses, no? Take note natin, hypnozoites, these are dormant na schizons which may cause relapses. And saang species natin siya makikita? Sa Plasmodium ovale and Plasmodium vivax. Okay, so yun. Okay, so this is the human liver stages or the exoerythrocytic cycle ng schizogony. Schizogony. Okay, so nag-rupture na si schizon, releasing our merozoites, and it now could freely travel into the bloodstream. So as an apicomplexan, it can penetrate the cell. So it can penetrate the red blood cell, papasok siya doon. It would then become an immature trophozoite in the ring stage. So it could mature trophozoite, then back into a schizon, and as the schizon matures, it can now rupture the red blood cell. So ruptured red blood cell would then release the merozoites again back to the bloodstream. Therefore, it can infect other and more red blood cells. So it can infect more red blood cells by then. Tapos pwede rin namang mangyari, so our trophozoite would then become a gametocyte. Meron tayong no micro and macro gametocyte. So ito yung analogous sa egg cell and sperm cell, and later on, if nakagat ulit si patient ng ating mosquito, makukuha niya itong gametes. So, diba, the mosquito takes a blood meal and ingests the gametocytes. Okay, so yun. So, that is the end of the cycle in the humans. Okay, so yun. Okay, so ito yung important dito guys, balikan lang natin dito sa human blood stages, itong inner circle na cycle na ito, no? Kasi makikita natin dito, there is lysis of the red blood cell, no? So, this causes the hemolytic anemia. So, ito rin yung actually, dito natin, because of this, we see the common paroxysms of the malaria. So, ito yung may chills, fever, sweating is actually, it coincides with the schizogony cycle. Ito yung pag-infect ng red blood cell, pag-mature into a schizon, and pag-rupture, and further infecting of other red blood cells. So, the schizogony cycle coincides with the paroxysms, no? Tapos, ayun. So, next naman dito na tayo sa ating inside the mosquito. So, inside the mosquito, so the micro and the macro gametocyte, so they would unite, they would be fertilized, and it would become an ookinet. So, yung ookinet natin, it is motile, it could puncture the gut of this mosquito, and then it would mature into a oocyst. So, puputok din yung oocyst, and the sporozoites, the infective stage, so these sporozoites would travel to the salivary ducts of the mosquito. So, it would be ready to infect other humans pagka kumagat na ulit si mosquito. So, the cycle continues. So, important to remember ano nga po pala ulit yung mga infective stages. Infective stage to man, sa ating humans, infective stage would be the sporozoite. Pero ito guys, take note natin, parang natanong to sa amin nung undergrad. Ano naman yung infective stage sa mosquito? Kasi take note natin, parang yung mosquito rin, isa rin siyang host. So, na-infect lang din siya. Ano yung infective stage sa kanya? It would be the gametocytes, itong gametocytes, kasi this would be ingested by the mosquito. Pero what is infective to humans would be the sporozoites. Sporozoites. Okay. So, yun. So, the mode of transmission is mosquito bite. Pero take note, possible din na ito ay maging bloodborne pathogen. So, di ba, in clerkship, in internship, pag ma-assign tayo sa pathology, isa rin sa mga duties natin doon, ma-assign tayo sa blood donation screening. So, mag-screen tayo ng donors. Isa sa mga itatanong doon would be, kung nagkaroon po ba ng malaria recently, so in the past 3 years, ganyan-ganyan. So, kasi ang possible doon, na if the donor is positive with malaria, then nakapag-donate siya. Kung hindi na check ng maigi, so mangyayari, possible na yung red blood cells ni donor na may malaria, magko-continue yung life cycle ng malaria dun sa sasalinan. So, para maiwasan natin yon, maganda yung screening and screening via dun sa questionnaire, and also kung available yung RDTs or rapid detection test kits. Sa diagnosis, yung thick and thin blood smear for quantitation and for checking the presence of the malarial parasites, and thin blood smear naman, this is for morphology. Then we have peripheral blood smear then for morphology, and yung rapid detection test kits are readily available naman. Okay, so yan na. So, madi-differentiate na natin ngayon yung 4 na species of Plasmodium. So, first, we have Plasmodium falciparum. So, yung mga key diagnostic features. So, take note natin, this is also known as the malignant tertian. This is the most virulent. Bakit po? Because it can infect erythrocytes of all ages. Erythrocytes or RBCs of all ages. So, wala siyang sinasanto kahit anong edad. Mapabata man yan, so kakalabas lang sa ating bone marrow, o kaya matanda na, yung senescent na red blood cells, okay pa rin sa kanya. So, it infects all stages or all ages. Schizogony period, isa rin siya sa pinakamabilis. Paroxysm. So, isipin natin dito lagi, guys. So, pagka mabilis yung paroxysms, mabilis yung infection ng red blood cell, maturation, and pagputok. So, yun. So, nakakatakot dito yung sa gravity of the hemolytic anemia ng patient. RBCs can have multiple infections. Okay? So, yung kanyang early trophozoite or the ring form, you can see here, yung ating acole or applique na form. And it looks like a headset. Usually, dalawa yung kanyang chromatin dots with a cytoplasmic ring. And hindi masyado nakikita tong growing trophozoite and large trophozoite. Yung schizoid, hindi rin masyado. Itong schizoid, may 8 to 24 merozoites. Pero take note, delikado if makikita na to. Kasi usually, hindi naman nakikita yung schizoid ng Plasmodium falciparum. Meaning nito, mataas na yung parasitemia or yung parasite sa dugo. So, the gametocyte, so this is the characteristic feature din ng Plasmodium falciparum. So, ito yung kanyang crescent shape or the banana shape na gametocyte. So, stages in peripheral blood, you can see the ring form and the gametocyte. Okay, so next picture, ito yung schizoid with 8 to 24 merozoites. And we have here, ito yung may ring forms, and the gametocyte. Next, we have Plasmodium vivax. Plasmodium vivax naman, so ito, ring niya, may signet ring appearance. So, signet ring appearance, so meron siyang single heavy dot and cytoplasmic ring. And yung growing trophozoite niya is amoeboid. Tapos, schizoid, sa next slide na lang din, mapakita natin. And yung gametocytes. Pero, before that pala, hindi kayong makalimutan. So, ito. Other name niya is, it is also known as the benign tertian. Schizogony period is 48 hours. It infects young RBCs. So, young RBCs, batang-bata. Batang-bata, yun yung palatandaan din natin doon, batang-bata. And di ba pag bata tumatangkad pa, lumalaki. So, the RBC enlarges. So, it infects young RBCs and the RBCs enlarge with the infection. Okay, so relapses may occur due to hypnozoids. So, review, di ba, ito yung mga schizoids na hindi agad pumuputok. It may burst after a few years due to stress, ganyan. Okay, so yan. So, dito na tayo. So, ito yung kanyang early trophozoite and ito yung amoeboid na growing trophozoite. Okay, so signet ring appearance, ito mukha siyang amoeba. Next, we have yung schizont. So, yung schizont natin, 12 to 24 merozoites. Yan, 12 to 24 merozoites. And here we have the gametocyte. So, the gametocyte here now is spherical or mga pabilog-bilog na sila. So, you have micro and macro gametocytes. So, the way to differentiate them then is the pigments eh. So, this is a macrogametocyte. So, parang for me lang, palatandaan ko, mas darker yung micro, mas darker si microgametocyte, and also it is much smaller. So, ito talaga, na-occupy niya yung almost the whole cell. So, for me, this is a macrogametocyte. And take note, the stages in peripheral blood, all stages are present. Next, we have Plasmodium ovale. Plasmodium ovale is also known as benign tertian. So, schizogony period niya is 48 hours and it also infects young RBCs. So, how do we differentiate it with vivax? So, ang nangyari dito, meron siyang characteristic appearance. So, the RBC still enlarges pero it is oval. Oval yung shape and it has serrated edges. Like here, serrated yung edges niya. Okay, so relapses may also occur due to hypnozoites. So early trophozoite niya, so heavier ring pero kamukhain ni vivax. And it also has an amoeboid-like trophozoite. So mature sa schizont niya, so meron siyang 8 merozoites. And we have here naman, so yung kanyang gametocytes, micro and macro gametocytes. So, ito yung kanyang macrogametocytes. So, the stages in peripheral blood, all stages are present. Okay. So, Plasmodium ovale. So, ito yung sa kanyang, I believe this is the schizont. Next, we have Plasmodium malariae. Plasmodium malariae, this is also known as the quartan malaria. So, schizogony period is 72 hours. Infects mature RBCs lang. So, mature RBCs or ito na yung pasenescent na, matandang RBCs na. So, yung medyo malapit ng mag 120 days. So, infects senescent RBCs. And take note, normal din yung size ng red blood cells. Hindi ko lang din na sabi kanina, si Plasmodium falciparum, balikan lang natin. Plasmodium falciparum, makikita nyo, yung kanyang red blood cells din ay normal in size, no? Ang lumalaki lang is vivax and si ovale. Okay, so yon. Okay, so, ayan, meron tayong, ang appearance ng kanyang early trophozoite is bird's eye appearance. Tapos ang growing trophozoite naman niya, ay ito. Makikita natin band shape, parang headband, it spans across the red blood cell o kaya basket shape. Ito. So, yung handle, tas yung lagayan. Tas the mature schizont, rosette pa din yung appearance. So, ito. Ayan yung rosette, pag ganyan. So, ito, rosette niya. The schizont would have around 6 to 12 or around average of 8 to 10 merozoites in rosette. And here we have a microgametocyte. So, the gametocytes, may micro and macro gametocytes pa rin and all stages are present. So, take note natin, remember, ang schizogony period niya is 72 hours. So, siya yung pinakamahaba. So, siya parang yung, kung isipin natin, so, least virulent kasi matagal bago matapos yung maturation nung sa ating schizont into para makapag-rupture ng red blood cells. So, ayun. Pero syempre, kailangan maagapan pa rin. Okay, so cardinal signs nito would be sa paroxysms which coincides with schizogony. So, meron tayong chills which would last around 15 to 60 minutes, fever 2 to 6 hours, and sweating 2 to 4 hours. Okay, so pathogenesis. Okay, so ang nangyayari dito as the parasite enters the blood. So, okay, so magkakaroon tayo ng cytoplasmic changes dun sa red blood cell. So, nagkakaroon nitong knobs na meron siyang histidine-rich protein and Plasmodium falciparum EMP1. So, this facilitates cytoadherence para mas dumikit pa yung parasite within the blood. Then, also, ito yung isa sa virulence factor niya. So, with the enzyme heme oxygenase, so the parasite can transform hemoglobin into hematine, which is pro-inflammatory, okay? Then, ayun. Okay, so, next we have glycophosphatidylinosytol. So, it is linked to the surface antigen. So, this stimulates yung ating tumor necrosis factor or cathexin and cytokines release. So, di ba itong si cathexin, so this causes yung pagtaas ng temperature, yung lagnat. And cytokines release, so this causes yung ating further damage din. So, di ba, like yung mga cytokine storm, this causes further damage din sa ating mga tissues. And also, pag nagsama-sama sila, this would also cause vascular epithelium changes. So, this causes increased permeability of our blood vessels, leading to congestion of blood vessels. This may lead to ischemia rin. So, because of the red blood cell lysis during the end of schizogony, this causes acute hemolytic anemia. Then, di ba nga, take note lang din natin, additional information, yung red blood cell natin, di ba may hemoglobin siya. Si parasite, kukunin niya yung 80% ng hemoglobin, maladigest niya into hematin. Tapos naman, di ba, so may matitirang 20% dun sa red blood cell. Pumatok si red blood cell. So lalabas yung natirang 20% na hemoglobin. So, meron tayong protein na magsasequester ng free hemoglobin. We call this as haptoglobin. Si haptoglobin. Okay, si haptoglobin, ang problema lang sa kanya, so kaunti lang yung kaya niyang makuha. May capacity rin siya na nare-reach. Okay, so nangyayari, if na-reach na yung capacity ni haptoglobin, so si hemoglobin would just remain in the bloodstream and later on, magiging urine na ito. Maidadala na sa urine ito. Kaya may hemoglobinuria. So, the urine may vary, the color may vary from red to black. Lalo na in heavy infection, magbablock na yung urine. So, possible cerebral, pulmonary, and renal involvement. Add ko lang din sa renal involvement because the heme part of the hemoglobin is renal toxic. So, this may cause the damage to our kidneys. As well as the cytokine, increased cytokine release, diba? So, nakaka-damage ng mga tissues to. So, sa pulmonary, and sa cerebral, pwede mag-infiltrate doon yung ating malaria. So, nakakatakot. Okay, so common lab finding. So, bakit po may hypoglycemia? Okay, so sa hypoglycemia, it is because the parasite actually, ang kanyang food and its nutrient source is glucose. So yun, medyo kaagaw niya yung ating human patient sa glucose. Okay, so kaya kailangan natin ma-maintain yung normal blood levels ng patient na merong malaria. There's metabolic acidosis due to the metabolic byproducts brought about by the disease. Hemolytic anemia because of the schizogony, the ruptures of the red blood cell. Makikita natin na decrease hemoglobin and decrease RBC count, decrease yung RBC volume. Hemoglobinuria because of the lysis, black water urine. Then we have hyperlactitemia. Hyperlactitemia due to the anaerobic respiration as well as pumuputok yung red blood cells mo, lumalabas yung enzyme na tinatawag natin na lactate dehydrogenase. So this would promote the production of lactate, 'di ba? So ito yung enzyme na mag-transform ng pyruvate to lactate. Okay, hyperlactitemia. Hyperbilirubinemia is also due to the hemolysis, no? Sa hemolytic anemia. Because, 'di ba, ang ating hemoglobin, so pwede rin naman it would be degraded din ng katawan natin into bilirubin. Pero another cause din dito is ang ating liver damage. 'Di ba, sa first part of schizogony, yung exoerythrocytic na schizogony which happens in the liver, may mga naputok na rin na liver cells. So, ito had already caused damage to the liver, causing this hyperbilirubinemia. So, nagkakaroon ng jaundice din yung patients natin. And high serum creatinine due to renal involvement. So, yun, infections caused by P. falciparum are the most likely to progress to severe potential forms. Yun nga, no? Because it infects yung all red blood cells and also cause central nervous system involvement, acute renal failure, severe anemia, and acute respiratory distress. Sa vivax naman, possible complication would be splenomegaly, splenic rupture, and also sa malariae, this may cause nephrotic syndrome. Okay, treatment natin would be chloroquine. So this is the mainstay drug for malaria for over 50 years. And ano naman, in the recent years, the DOH recommends the use of artemisinin-based combination therapies. So example nung therapy natin na yon, artemisinin, quinine, and primaquine. Pero ang maganda dito guys, si artemisinin, search natin yung kanyang MOA. Makikita natin doon na ini-inhibit niya yung enzyme na heme oxygenase. So, mape-prevent yung formation of the hemozoin or hematin, di ba, which is pro-inflammatory. So, nakakakos kasi yun ng damage sa ating tissues. And ito, pag kami mga travelers tayo going to endemic areas, to places na endemic with malaria, we give them doxycycline for prophylaxis. Okay, so this is a very important public health problem. So it is prevalent in developing countries, especially in Africa, yes, and in Southeast Asia. So nakakalungkot, diba nga, in Africa, ang daming laban nila doon. Like, and there's a lot of parasitic diseases, there's viral, Ebola, kakatapos lang din. Then ngayon, may concept pa ng COVID. Then yung mga other bacterial infections as well. As yung mga HIV, AIDS, especially na ang dami ring congenital transmissions noon. So, ang daming laban na kailangang maagapan din sa ating mga kapatid doon sa Africa. And here also in the Philippines. So, malaria in the Philippines, as according to WHO, endemic daw in 58 to 80 provinces, and 12 million people, 13% of the population is at risk. So, ito naman, so as mentioned by Secretary Duque from an article from the Department of Health, sabi lang niya, 4 na lang naman daw na provinces ang endemic for malaria. So, Palawan, Sulu, Occidental Mindoro, Sultan Kudarat. So, yan yung mga blockmates ko nga nung undergrad din. So, yung mga thesis nila, pumunta sila ng Mindoro to get samples. So, yun. Kasi, endemic nga yun sa Mindoro. Okay, then yun. In 2018, a total of 4,870 malaria cases and 4 deaths were reported. So, napakarami pa rin kaso sa ating bansa. Yung goal ng ating Department of Health by 2022, mapababa by 90% ang incidence of malaria cases, and by 2030, ang mangyari is we can eradicate malaria in the Philippines. So, ito yung mga laban na itutuloy din natin balang araw. Then yun. So naman sa prevention and control, the best way is vector control. So hanapin natin kung saan namamalagi yung mga mosquito na yon. Okay, so naputol na lowbat. So yun, 'di ba? Mahanap natin kung saan namamalagi yung mga mosquitoes and lagyan ng mga insecticides or ito meron mga ginagawa sila sa mga provinces na endemic ito, usage of insecticide-treated mosquito nets o kaya usage of larvivorous fish. So, yung mga kumakain, yung mga baby mosquito pa. Okay, so, mahanap mo yung breeding sites of the said mosquito para ma-contain, yun nga po, and usage of insecticides and insect repellents, and also personal na protection din, wearing of long sleeve shirts and long pants. Okay, so these are my reference. So, I hope guys na marami tayong natutunan today. And, ayun po. So, next week naman sa mga nematodes ang ating matidiscuss. And thank you guys. So, dito sa link below this video, makikita nyo yung ating post-test na G-Forms link. Okay, so thank you very much guys and keep safe always. Thank you.